Hello everyone, Damien here from DKBrickStudios. Today, we'll be going into part 2 of my 100 subscriber special. So before we get started, let's let that intro roll. We'll get started with this, shall we? Let's. Alrighty, so here we are, and here it is part 2 of my 100 subscriber special. As I told you with part 1, it's coming out. It out here, boys. We out here with part 2. If you have not seen part 1, highly recommend checking that out. It should be carded up in the upper right hand corner or in the end screen. Highly recommend checking out part 1. Be greatly appreciated if you could check that out. You might find one of your favorite models or your favorite wave from the one of my channel in part 1. So definitely a worth checking out. And also highly recommend you know sticking through this, because you may never know, you might find your favorite wave or your favorite model in this video as well. So yeah, let's get on into this. We've got Solo, a Star Wars story, waiting for us on the other end of this. Let's get going, folks. Alrighty, so here we are now with Solo. This is when we first got started, when DKBrickStudios officially became DKBrickStudios. At least just with this wave. This wave was when we became DKBrickStudios, and that was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. I was really excited for that happening. So, yeah. We're gonna go over all the Solo models now. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if there's an intro segment or not before this. Depends on how long this video, depends on how long this video is already going. But it might have been cut into bits. Who knows? We'll see. But, yeah, so, here is Solo's speeder from Solo, a Star Wars story. Honestly, I think I did a really good job with the speeder. It looks really nice. I really love how it came out. We've got the back of the seat here. We got the cockpit. We got like the window here. Nice little seat. Like I said, I remember mentioning in my tutorial that you could take a minifigure. You could take this little bit out here and put a minifigure in here, and it'd be cool. I want to buy the parts for this and actually do that. That'd be cool to do, to be honest. We got the black and white striping going on here. We got the nice little gray bit here for technical stuff. Got more technical bit on this side. Nice little wing going on back here. I don't know if that's a wing or spoiler, but we got this bit here. And yeah, I think I did a really good job with this. I really like this model. Yeah. I think it came out really nicely. It's one of my it's one of the models I like that I did in the Solo wave. Yeah, let's head on over to Moloch Speeder. So here's Moloch Speeder, and I think I did a really good job with this one. Got the nice little cockpit right here, engines and stuff, grill. Yeah, I think I knocked this one out of the park as well. The engines, little cage bit for the creatures, for the dog, for the mutts, that he had. And yeah, this and Han Speeder, along with the next one, all had build talk videos, which I'd highly recommend giving that a look. I don't know if it'll be at the end of this video or in the next video, or if it will just be carded at the end of this video or not. But I definitely will have a but there will definitely be a way for you to go check out. But I would definitely recommend checking out my mock spotlights, my build talk videos on these. Han Solo's especially, because we have a panel that I did at not a panel I did, but a panel I listened to from Star Wars Celebration, and not Star Wars Celebration, but from AwesomeCon that I visited that year. Solo came out, and that was awesome. I really enjoyed that, and I would love to go back there again. Unfortunately, with what's going on right now, I kind of can't. But yeah, I don't know if you heard that vibrating. I put my phone off to the side. But, yeah, I don't really want my phone next to me. So, yeah, this one also turned out nice. I remember while I was trying to build it, I tried to do some like mixing and like try to give it like that nice, like it like kind of like how the model was. But I was like, let's just kind of go with the nice gray palette, and it looks nice. It works for what it needs to be. The Imperial Speeder. This one is an okay one. I do remember with this one, I believe you could swap this 2x4, yes, 2x4, swap it out for 2x3, yeah, 2x3, and just put a minifigure in here, and you'd have another mock spot, a mini microfighter. You'd have two of my models would essentially become a microfighter, which is cool. I actually like that. This one wasn't the better of the two, of the three speeders that I did, but I did a good job trying to mimic it. I made a micro version of it. Well, I made a smaller version of the actual speeder. I think I did a good job of it. I could have made a maybe smaller version, but hey, we all try our best with things. If I went back to this now, I probably would have done it a bit differently, especially since I've done smaller. I made speeders smaller, so I might try that again. But who knows? We'll see. I might want to give that a go at some point, but we'll see. Now, let's head on to the next model, the TIE Fighter, and subsequently the TIE RB Heavy Starfighter. But right now, look at the TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighter was a pretty good model. I liked it. It was clean, simple. Did what it needed to do. Look essentially like a TIE Fighter. And it works. I honestly think I did a pretty good job of building a TIE Fighter. This is pretty much a model I use all the time. I use this base for TIE Fighter all the time. And it works. It's a good copy and paste build. I have no problems using it, honestly. And it's definitely modifiable, as you can see with the next model, the TIE RB Heavy Starfighter, which looks nice. I love that we have the nice gun section here. I remember actually watching the trailer for Solo like at least the 10th time, the day like around the time like after it came out, to see what this fighter looked like, and on my Apple TV, and it looked good. Like I saw what it looked like. I'm like, okay, I see the cockpit. I see this. It looks like 2 extra guns here. I'm like, okay, so that's what that looks like. Okay, it gave me an idea on what I had to build. And I like this. It is actually something, I actually have a model similar to this in my room. It actually is pretty good. I actually like it. I can actually take this section off if I ever want to, and I can make my own. I can actually have my own TIE Fighter if I ever so please. But hey, it works. We of course have the solar with the wings and the cockpit bit. Like I've mentioned, I remember doing the tutorial, and it was just this tutorial that went from here to here. I mean, it worked. It worked. I didn't want to just do another tutorial going from one version to another version, and just doing two of the same models. I'm just like, okay, we're going to show you the same TIE Fighter at the same time. I mean, it's basically the same model, just with an extra bit in the middle, in between the cockpit and the wing. So, yeah, it works. I'm not gonna lie, it works. It does the job what it needs to do, and it looks like the TIE RB. So, yeah. Now, onto probably one of the coolest models I've ever made, and my favorite one out of one of my favorites, honestly, the Falcon. I love this version of the Falcon. To be honest, I would fly this Falcon. To be perfectly honest, don't get me wrong. Yet the classic Falcon is cool and all, but this Falcon just rocks. All right, I love it. It looks so cool, so nice, crisp and clean. I actually have the model, the actual Lego set as well. It's just so nice. It's so nice. We got blues on here. We got the nice blue. We've got the cockpit right there. Satellite dish, which I attempted to put in the right have it like as close to the in line of the body as possible. But I mean, It's hard to do with these, but it worked the best I did the best I could with it, at least. And this was actually the first model I ever built on this program, actually. I actually built this model first because I wanted to. And when I first got it on here, I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And then I rendered it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so pretty. It's so pretty. It looks like the real thing. And I was like, damn, that actually does look like the real thing. And I was amazed. And I was like, okay, let's get this thing. And I started building more and more. You got the engines on the back, you know. I really like how this came out. I have at one point actually attempted to build a model where the front of the cockpit, where this bit actually came out, but due to how the design was for the Falcon, of this Falcon, it wouldn't work because there was just a part of it where it was like, oh, by the way, you need to attach two pieces, and yet I wouldn't really allow that. So it was like, okay, I could add two plates. I could make this a 2x4, move the 2x4 plate up a bit, or I don't. Or I do it. It's like, yeah, I'm not going that way. Okay, so yeah, I didn't do it. It was a work in progress, to be honest. But hey, it was something I was trying. And this is a convertible ship. You can't convert this into the original Falcon, which, you know, it is something you could do if you so choose. I have done that before a couple of times. It works. I haven't tried making it into the Falcon that looks like how it looks after, you know, the coaxium's been into it and all that. I do want to try that though one day. That might be something I do as well. We'll see though. So yeah, now onto the next model. The AT Hauler. This one I feel like I could have done a lot better. This was like right after the film was done. I saw the film and I'm like, okay, I gotta get at least one of these models done before I get it recorded. And that's what I did. I was lucky I got this thing done as quickly as I did. It works as like a prototype, but not as an official model. I want to go back and I want to edit. I want to redo this model. I might actually go and do that one day. Because this is definitely the wrong color. This is supposed to be white, not gray. And I actually have the official Lego set. So, I'm actually thinking of using that as a bit of, as a template. You know, it's kind of like a guide to show me, like, where things are. Because I would have it right next to me. I couldn't really find good images of the model. I was kind of, one of the images I was filming was like an old micro, like some guy's micro, like even smaller, it was much smaller than this, and I was kind of using that as a guide as well. I was like, oh god, I really wish I could find the better images. But I did the best I could, and it worked. It worked the best I could. Much better at least, you know. I mean, like I said, I'll do a better job. I'll try to do a better job next time at least, so you know. I'll go back and I'll work on it at another point. Which is what I'm thinking. I think I should actually do that at some point. Let me know if you want to see that. Let me know if you want me to go back and revisit some models. You're welcome to let me know that. I'd honestly would like to hear that. But yeah. Let's head on over to the next one. The AT-DT, the All-Terrain Defense Transport. I forget what these things. There's so many different AT somethings. It's not even funny. All right, there's an AT something. It's always an all-terrain something something. So yeah, this one. I mean, it was the same case with the Walker, with the hauler. I was working with very limited images as well. I couldn't find really good images of this model, and I did my best to actually try to figure out how the hell to build this model. Yeah, I made a micro figure for this guy, you know, a little micro figure that put him right here. Although I think he's supposed to be one lower, but I don't know. But yeah, it was a pain to build him, build this model. I was able to figure it out, but again, I really wish I could have gotten better images. I'm sure now, after the film's out and all that, I could find better images, but right after the film was out, it was like, yeah, no. Nobody was able to give me any better images. Sorry about that. I'm just ignore that text that came through that I wiped away anyways, but hey, just ignore that. But yeah, I mean, again, I worked the best I could on these. Would I do this one differently? Probably. I'd probably go back and maybe work on this a bit more. This would probably classify as a prototype as well. But hey, I did my best on this one as well. Again, I was dealing with stuff from after the movie, so I couldn't really get clearer images than what I was getting. So you know what? I did my best. Again, now onto one of my favorite vehicles from the movie, the Convex. When I saw this thing from in the TV spot, the first bit of footage we got it, I was like, I'm gonna build that. That's the first thing I'm building. That's one of the first things I'm building for this movie. Did I build it? No, I didn't get enough images for this thing. So I was like, okay, let's see what else I can build. And I found that, and I was like, perfect, we're building that. I had to build a TIE fighter before this from the Imperial era, from the Rebellion era. So I'm like, I'll build that. I'll build the Convex. I'll build that over the train. So yeah, I built the train. This is a long boy. Okay, so yeah. I honestly think I did a really good job of this. I believe... No. Yeah, this is the upper car that has removable cargo. So you can recreate the battle, recreate the fight in the movie, recreate their capturing of the cargo and all that. But yeah, I did attempt to make a bottom section of the train. Like, I really wanted to build a bottom section. It pained me not to be able to build. It hurt not being able to, because I really wanted to build a bottom portion of the train. It would have been cool to have done that, but it couldn't have happened. I was like, gosh darn it, I wanted it to. Lego, unfortunately, didn't have some of the parts I needed, so it was like, oh, fine, I'll just stick with the original plan. I'll just stick with the top half, and I'll work on the bottom half later. I'll work on a bottom half at another point. I'll see if I can get to a bottom half at another point. I might not do. I'll try to do a bottom half at some point, but unfortunately, that might not ever happen. But yeah, I honestly think this came out well. Would I go back and do this differently? Probably not. I would probably. I mean, I would maybe honestly with the one that has the removable cargo. I actually looked at the instructions on this one model, and I saw that the cargo was actually like just a copy and paste of the other cars, but without the cargo. But without it being easily removable. So it's like, okay, I would make. Oh well, actually the car went flying off the track, so it is true to movie. So, but I would make it so that you could at least take some pieces off and plop on some cable pieces onto it, you know, like they did in the movie. But other than that, I'd probably do that. There's nothing else I'd really change on it. So, yeah, let's go into the next and last model of Solo. Dryden Voss's yacht. This was a pain in the ass to build for a while, alright? I wasn't able to find any good images of this ship until one lucky day on Pinterest, I found, even though it was concept art, somebody posted an image of the ship. And I was like, thank you, whoever posted this on Pinterest. You have saved me pain and torture in trying to build this ship. With the limited images I had, with the very far images and blurry images I was getting from like the trailers and TV spots I was finding of it. So I was like, God damn it. But now I was like, thank you, whoever did this for me. You saved me time and energy. And it worked. I mean, yeah, it could be a bit better, but I think I did a really bang up job. I like how it looks. It looks like the ship. We've got the two decks on the ship. Um, we have, the yellow detailing, which is actually pretty accurate for the model. We have the fins and the engines. So, this is an accurate ship. It's just, it's kind of based off of concept art, but I feel like the concept art is pretty accurate to the movie. So yeah, that's the last of Solo. So yeah, now we're gonna head on to The Force Awakens. So here we are with The Force Awakens. So yeah, this is I remember me doing this for at least the Force Awakens line because I wanted to knock out the Force Awakens content because I didn't have a chance to upload that when the movie came out, and then of course subsequently Rogue One, which is our next wave in in our lineup here. But yeah, so here is Starkiller Base, and I think I did a pretty good job with this model. Looks really good. I really like how it came out. And it's pretty good. I think I did a good job with this. I mean, would I go back probably fix this? Probably not. I mean, I remember having to learn how to make a ball. Like a Lego ball from, I found on Pinterest. Thank God I have Pinterest. But, yeah. I learned how to do that. And it was actually very useful because I was able to learn how to build a Lego ball here. And, for this model. And it actually worked out. It worked out pretty well. And, yeah. I mean, yeah, I would probably go back and maybe make the gray bit more inside the ball, but of course I would have to figure out how to do that, and I had to be a bit more versed in knowing how to build stuff within a out of a ball model. But again, that's just how things be. But hey, I did my best at least with this, and it works. It executes what it has to execute, and it works. It works, and I like it. I like how it came out. So, on to the next model in the Force Awakens lineup. The First Order Snowspeeder. Now this one, I remember using a bit of the micro speeder, the micro fighter for this, but hey, it helped. I mean, it was a bit helpful. It did what it needed to do. I really like how it came out though. This model came out nicely. I really like it. I had an earlier version that I made myself that did not look at all good. I could have done it a whole lot better, and this was the better version. And same for a race speeder that I have made that I have not shown you guys. I might show it to you guys at some point. If you guys let me know if you want to see that, I will do that. But yeah. We've of course got the engines, which actually look really nice. This is supposed to be circular bits, huh? Okay, interesting. A little canopy section for where the people are sitting. No, gun. No, it all looks nice. It works. Does exactly what it needs to do. And I like that. It looks like the speeder. So now, on to the next one. The First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. This one I like. I like how it came out. And, even though it's a very similar build to my original TIE Fighter design I did, I mean, you can't really beat that TIE Fighter design. That TIE Fighter design works, alright? I just had to do some simple modifications. Of course, we had to add the double cockpit. Of course, it had to be mostly black. It had to be black, and the panel have to be in gray with some black, with black on the solar panels. Of course, we got the turbo lasers down here. And we have the little gun up here. I actually have the nice little gun up here. I remember seeing that from like a Lego miniature mock model that they had made, that I saw this being used, that technique being used. I'm like, you know, I like that technique. I'm using that. And it works for what I want to do. It works for the model. It works for how I'm knocking things, for building things here. And it works exactly how I like it. It's short, simple, sweet, exactly how it should be. I love it. And now, send it over to the original TIE Fighter design for the First Order. It's the regular TIE Fighter. Pretty much the same design without without the gun, no red, you know, and no extra cockpit. I mean, it works. It's pretty much the same, but without the extra piece, without the extra detailing to make it the special forces, without the details that make it special forces. So yeah, I like them both. They work nicely. I'll probably go back and change this one piece here, because after a certain point I start changing this one piece right here that I've got highlighted, the plate 1x2 round trans clear to a trans red, because it actually adds a little bit more to the ship, and I probably do the same here, make it black instead of being trans clear. That's the only change I would do to the TIE Fighters, but other than that, everything's good. Everything looks nice and good. It works out perfectly for these TIE Fighters. So yeah, on to the next one, which is the First Order Troop Transport. I like this one. I remember, this is pretty similar to a design I have myself that I built, you know. With simple modifications. One, the troop door is able to move up and down. We've got a nice little flare here on the side, which is actually accurate to the model itself. Actual movable guns. And a bit up here. This is actually in the Rise of Skywalker, which I actually like seeing. I was like, oh my god, yay, we get to see this one again. Which, it was nice actually seeing these troops, this model again. This was a nice model. We got the engines back here using a Technic piece. Which works. I don't know if we have anything inside there. Nope, in one of my versions I had things inside there, but nope, okay. I mean, hey, it works. I wouldn't change anything really about it. It's a pretty good model. I mean, I would probably figure out a way to make this a little bit more flatter, but hey, other than that, it's pretty much good. So I can understand why this is as thick as it is, because it has to be that thick. Which I've got no problems with, because it is essentially, because it has to have this plate back here to hold everything behind it. I'm not knocking it, honestly. I'm not going to knock it. So yeah. On to the next model, shall we? The Millennium Falcon. Now, this is pretty much similar to the original Falcon, the little Falcon we saw in the last section. But with some modifications, obviously. A bit modified, of course. You know, we've got the whole bit in front of it missing. We don't have the bit in front of it that's there. We've got, you know, it in gray. We've got these bits here, which are accurate to the actual Falcon. We've got the square dish here. There will be a version where it has the regular dish. Don't worry, I'm gonna do that for when I do episode 6 and 7, 8, 4, 5, 6. You know, I'll be one of those models in that run. Don't worry. But yeah, it turned out really nice, and I like how it came out. It looks like the Falcon. I actually have this one as well. I don't have this one on display with my... I have like a nice little cubby that has like a little hanger look. That has like a little hanger thing with like one side's the First Order, the other side's the Prime... not the Prime Order, but that's a group in my book. The Jurassic... That's a group in my book as well. The Resistance. Or well, the good guys, bad guys, essentially. And, I mainly say the good guys for the one side because it's the Resistance. We got the Resistance, we got a Ewing, We got the U-wing, speeder, Poe's X-wing, um, the Falcon from Solo, and that's really it on that one side. And we've got on the other side all Rise of Skywalker stuff. Well, not Rise of Skywalker stuff, but stuff from the from the first order. And in the middle, I've got Ray Speeder, a model I've made of my own of Ray Speeder. So it works. And the Falcon looks really good. I like it. I don't think I'll really go back and change anything. I mean, I'd probably find a couple of things I might be tweak here and there. Maybe change this piece here, but maybe add a little less gray on the next version I make. But hey, we'll see. But hey, at least I know for sure that there's going to be, I'm probably going to get rid of change this piece out and maybe change it with something else because I want to kind of make it make the evolution make it a bit of an evolution, not just change out the dish, which is definitely going to happen. But yeah, so now on to but now, yeah, definitely now gonna, yeah. God, I lost my train of thought because of that text. Ignore that. Don't worry. But yeah. Now let's head on to the X-wing, which has the same sort of wing style as what's its face, Poe's X-wing. Trust me, I'm glad I did it the one way for Poe's X-wing and the Rise of Skywalker, which I don't entirely remember off the top of my head, but we'll take a look at that when we get to that in this run. Because they'll definitely be in this run. I don't know about Transformers, though. The Transformers wave we're in right now. But, hey. Look, I would change some things up on this. But again, I'm not knocking it. I did my best on it. It works, at least. It's not something I would be like, oh god, this is a horrible. No, it works to its ability. It's not something I would, dump on. It's some models it's something that could be modified slightly, but hey. It does its job well, at least, right now. It just needs a bit of improvement, So yeah. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. I think we got a good looking TIE Fighter X-Wing right here. And then from there, we've got the Resistance Troop Transport, which honestly, I think I could do a bit more work on. I could have done more work instead of just the engines and stuff like that. Because this just feels too blocky. The other one didn't look blocky, but just feels too blocky. I mean, yeah. It's meant to be hollow inside, but I mean, like, come on. Like, look, I'm not expecting you guys to make a ton of micro figures just to put inside of these, alright? But it's up to you. You do whatever the hell you want with these, but still. I'm not gonna force you to. I would definitely come back and redo this model, alright? I would definitely redo this one. I'd probably start from scratch on this one as opposed to just, tweaking it. It's definitely, it's at least a model, alright? It's something I was able to come up with at the time and be able to make, so I could maybe, try to build at some point myself, but it's like, okay, look, if I want to actually have something, I want something I can actually be proud of. Like, I mean, look, yeah, the, God, God, I'm trying to think of a model I've made. Yeah, the Falcon, that's something that survived. I mean, it's got minor tweaks, but yeah, the true transport. only models that I've had those things, I've only tweaked them slightly, but it's like, yeah, I'm proud of how they look already. Like before I even did the tweaks, they've got the original look to them. So yeah, I even like the ship. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, the ship looks cool, but it's like I would like to make a better look of it, make it look better, because that would be important. But yeah, that's enough for this wave. Onto the section. Onto the next one, which I may note. I should note real quick. That is Rogue One. Alrighty, so let's get on with Rogue One, shall we? So here it is, the Profundity, the first, the first model of the wave that we did. And I honestly love how this thing came out. This is probably one of my favorite models that I did for Rogue One, and God, this thing's a long boy. But it had to be. It had to be long, alright? It's got the engines back here, which honestly are really nice. It's simplistic. We've got, the nice. This honestly gives me like a nice boat shape with like, a bit of an like a bit of a like kind of like a submarine-ish vibe to it. Kind of gives me that vibe, which I really love. Um, looking at it right now, I haven't seen this thing in a while. To be perfectly honest, looked at it in a while, but this is really good looking. I love how this model looks. Just how the plating up here looks spectacular on it. Uh, the gray on it looks beautiful. It adds to the model. Simplicity adds to the model. This is another one that was like what's his face? The Radis, where I had to well, I mean, where I built a design from it, where I kind of I was trying to go something like that, but I made sure these were all accurate. I honestly love how this came out. We've got the cockpit. I believe this is where the cockpit area is, if I'm not mistaken. I I should be correct in that, but somebody can correct me down below. It's been a bit since I've seen Rogue One. My plan at the moment, one of my things I want to do during our social distancing right now that's going on because of the virus, is watch all the movies, all the Star Wars movies in episodic order, including Episode 9. Even though I did that leading up to Episode 9, I want to do that again because I want to get a feel of how Episode 9 changes the saga. So yeah. Of course, I also want to watch Episode 7, 8, and 9 back to back, just to see how that feels cohesive. See if that feels cohesive, and it might actually. I mean, it did work for Episode 7 and 8, so yeah. And God, people are probably hating me for saying like, "Oh God, 7 and 8." Ugh. It's like, hey, look, we all have our likes and dislikes, all right. But hey, it works. It works. This ship was a pretty cool ship to build, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, let's on to the next model, shall we? So here is a Rebellion era X-wing. I honestly, don't get me wrong, it's cool that I use these plates, these tiled plates, uh, the printing and all that. I honestly wish I could have just done it's following the same you know principle as I did with the before, where it's 3 plates wide, and it's like, oh, God, this looks so weird. I really want to go back, and I'd go back and edit this again. These would probably result in these not being here, but it'd be underdoable. I'd be okay with that, honestly. This thing's a pretty good design. I'm not gonna lie. I like how it came out. I like how this X-wing came out, and it looks pretty good. Not bad at all. A couple of tweaks here and there might help it. Look better. So now it's the Y-wing. I'm about to say U-wing, but no, this is the Y-wing. So this is the Y-wing. This is not my favorite iteration of the Y-wing, honestly. I like the Rise of Skywalker's iteration better. There's just something about it that just is much more. That looks much more cooler. And this one, I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, I did a good job on this one, honestly. I could have there could have been some work on this, honestly. And like the pylons here could have been longer, for sure. Which is one of my gripes of this model is that it doesn't really. It looks like a Y-wing, but it doesn't feel like a Y-wing. If you get what I mean, it could have been the pylons could have been a lot longer, which would have definitely have added to the model. But it would have been something better. If I had the opportunity right now, if I was rebuilding this model, I would have done. I probably would have tried to have done something similar to what I did with Rogue, with the Rise of Skywalker's Y-wing. I would have tried to have followed that model's Y-wing. But hey, I would have combined this and Rogue One's, not Rogue One, but Episode 9's Y-wing. What I might do for actually while we're on the subject here, take this and use it as an opportunity to redo those models. Which actually might not be a bad idea, honestly. Give a chance to do that. And there's another model in this wave that I would actually want to take a, yeah, take a stab at, take another stab at, Always good to do, Do another go at, So, here's another one that, another wing ship, letter wing ship that was actually pretty cool. I actually like this ship, the Y-wing, the U-wing. I mean, I love the U-wing. The U-wing is one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. All right, there's just something about it. It just looks so cool. It's just, God, it looks so wonderful. It looks like a cool ship. I actually have this model. Actually, the cockpit's a bit wider on my version I have in my room, but it's pretty much similarly designed. It's similarly designed. There's some differences with the design I have, but I really love how this design came about. It looks wonderful, and I think I did a really bang up job with this model, I must say. And I think it looks wonderful. I wouldn't really change anything. I mean, I forget. I mean, I know that the wings can actually fold here, but I'd probably do it a different way, honestly. I probably would change up the body at least up here, like everything below, like the undersection is good. The body, like here, could be better. The wings assembly is perfect. It's perfectly fine. I've got nothing wrong with that. Getting the proportions right was a bit difficult on this model, but I did my best I could on it. I will note. But yeah, it works. I love how this looks. God, I love how the two studs high. Even if just one high or two studs, it just looks so slim. It looks slim, but once you get the three studs high, it looks off. Honestly, it looks off, and that's definitely evident in the X-wing. So yeah, let's go to the next one, the Imperial Cargo Shuttle. This one was a pain to build. All right, somewhat, but I feel like I did a good job building it. Would I go back and redo this one? Definitely. This could use somewhat. I feel like this could use some work. Um, Especially with the wings a bit, the body. I could probably do some retooling, some retweaking, some tweaks, and all that. But other than that, I think I did a pretty good job of it. The cargo container is pretty good, honestly. It looks like a cargo container, and that was in Rogue One. But yeah, this looks like something you'd see in Rogue One, but it's but I want to make it better. Honestly, I kind of want to just break up all the gray and add some dark gray throughout the model to make it feel like it's actually like a model. Make it look and feel like the ship. Uh, so yeah, it's I did my best with these. But yeah, I mean it works. It's alright. Let's not get that wrong, but it could be better. To be perfectly honest. And now on to the Imperial Hover Tank. Which honestly, I think I did a bang up job with this one. This one, completely wonderful. It looks like the Imperial Hover Tank. It has that look and feel of the tank. It looks like it, and it works. We've got two crates back here. We've got the treads down here. We've got some sliders down here to kind of give that hover look. Even though it's got the treads, honestly, I don't get why it's called the Imperial Hover Tank when it had treads. But I'm not the creator of this ship, of this vehicle. I am only the builder of this model. We've got turns that are actually rotatable. Two little turns down here. I believe I was using the model to help me. I don't know if I had the model on me at this time I was building it. I forget if I did. But if I did, oh wow, I did a really good job. But hey, it looks pretty good. I love it. I love it. So yeah, let's head on to the next one, shall we? Let's. The ATSD. I would do this differently, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of use Lego's model as a build. This was like, I believe I used the model I used from Stud Studio that I had. Yeah, this was ripped right from Lego. I'm not gonna lie. Well, not entirely. Well, I did modify it slightly, but it could be a lot better, honestly. I'd go back and modify this thing. I would so go back and redo a whole ATSD myself. I would go back and make my own ATSD. I mean, yeah, I used a similar leg design for my walker, for my ATDT, but not, I did, I just continued on with the leg design. I did something differently for the leg design. I wanted something different. I want to do something different. I might use this as a basis, but I want to go back and I want to modify this, and I'll do that when we get to episode 6, which is going to be years from now. So we're gonna start. We're gonna be doing. So I haven't discussed this yet, but one of the things I want to do starting next year is go through each episode one year by year, and that's kind of what we're doing with the Transformers year wave. But I want to do that because that'd be really cool to do, and I think that'd be fun to do. And I want to be able to give you guys that chance. And then after that, I'll probably do the series as well, even if there's an extra. Even though we've done Resistance, I want to do Rebels, and I want to do the Clone Wars as well. I do it in episode order. I would do it in show order of when they came out. Of course, the Clone Wars would come out in the 7th season would go first, including the 7th season, stuff from the 7th season. Of course, I would need a lot of time to find what goes where and what comes first, but I'd figure that out. I'd figure all that out, and what was the important vehicles, because some of that stuff is going to be, it's going to take too much. But yeah, that's a ways from now, guys. Don't worry about it. We're not going to get to there yet. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if that was a piece or not. So yeah, let's on to the next one. The Ad Act. I feel like I might have used a bit of Lego's Walker to help with this, but I forget. I mean, I only say a bit, like, just to kind of help me get an idea of how to how I could build the AT. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do some of my own stuff. Like, of course, this whole bit here is custom. Actually, I kind of forget what's behind this. Oh, it's just a straight wall. Oh wow. Okay then. That's good to know. Honestly, this thing looks pretty good. It looks like the Ad Act. It, kind of feels like the Ad Act. I probably wouldn't really change anything, although I will want to try to do a different version of the AT-AT, make a more better version of it myself when I get to episode 5, Of course, we'll try. Well, of course, that's gonna take some time to get to, but we're gonna try to get to that, Yeah, that'd be cool to do. I think this is a pretty good job, and yeah, we've got a bit of a ball joint piece here to kind of give it some more freedom of movement, which honestly is pretty good. It's pretty useful. I like that. Yeah, there's 2 more after this, so yeah. And now we're taking a look at Krennic's Command Shuttle. Honestly, I think I did a really good job with this ship. This this is a model that I really enjoyed building. I built and I really liked it. And I liked how I was able to get the wings to fold down and the landing gear included. And it was such a neat little trick on how I did that. And it works and it looks so cool. And I like it. And even if you guys have seen Rogue 2: A Lego Star Wars Christmas Story, you will have seen a cruddy version of Krennic's Command Shuttle, but it was the best I could do at the time. When I was filming that, I needed a version of Krennic's Command Shuttle, and the version I had was the best I had. That I built. I mean, it's in pieces now, but I mean, I'm probably gonna rebuild it at some point later. So yeah, but hey, I mean, it works. It looks like Krennic's Command Shuttle. Like I said, the wings fold, the landing gear fold up. It looks pretty cool. Got the nice little cockpit right here. You have the nice fin back here as well. The engine's back here. God, that thing is really good. I really like how this came out. So yeah, no, let's hit a the second to last. We have the TIE Reaper, which honestly, this one was a hard one to build, but I was luckily able to figure it out. One of the things I did want to try to do was make it so you could have like a little thing to come down that looks like the little like the thing that the Death Troopers were in, used to get down into the battle, but like the little ramp that the Death Troopers to kind of recreate that scene from the Rogue One, but I was like, that's not gonna happen. So it's like, okay, we're just gonna go with this model, and it worked. It worked well, and I like it. The wings are pretty good design. They all I try to mimic the to my best ability the line pattern on the TIE fighters. You know, you got a bit back here. You got this little piece here. Got a cockpit piece right here. Yeah, I think this came out nicely. I wouldn't really change anything on this model. I think I did a pretty bang up job and would probably, not really change anything if I had to go redo this one. So yeah, let's head on to the next one. This is the last one, of course. So the TIE Striker. I'd probably, of course, want to change this piece into just a regular gray piece because this is not accurate. It was a color in the back of the TIE Fighter. The wings are accurate, of course, which is nice. The cockpit and all that is accurate as well, which is important. I may go back. I may want to go back at one point and try to make it a bit better. But it works, It works for what it needs to do and needs to be. But honestly, I think I did a good bang up job with this one as well. It does the job it needs to do. Gives us that look of, hey, I'm the TIE Striker. And it looks mean. Like it looks. I'm gonna say this. The TIE Striker is one of my favorite TIE fighters because it just looks so cool. I really wish this wasn't meant for atmospheric fight for battle because I honestly feel like this one would have been really cool to see in like the battle of the Death Star battle, or see flying up in space with all the other troops, all the other in the Death Star during, or like during the Battle of Endor. This would have been a cool one to see. But hey, it works. I really like it. And that is the end of the Rogue One wave. So, we're going to head on over to the next wave, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is Alien. So, I'll see you on that one. Alrighty, so I don't know if you guys remember, I did a little bit of Alien at the end of 2019. No, wait, 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. But I did a bit of Alien. And that was fun. I enjoyed doing Alien. Although I only did the Nostromo and, of course, the Narcissus, but it worked. I enjoyed this, and I am planning on going back to do more. I might do that actually at the end of this year. I don't know. We only have we have like 11, 10 weeks left of content that could be filled. So I might fill that out with Alien stuff. We'll see actually. But hey, hey, let's take a look at the Nostromo. This is honestly one of my this is one of the ships that I think I did a really bang up job with, and I might actually say this might be one of my favorites, honestly. This thing took a lot of work and a lot of time and patience with because I had to figure out how to best build a ship that from a movie I wasn't all that a fan of. It just it was a bit creepy to me. I could have watched. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But it was a good film. I'm not gonna lie. But I did a really good job with this ship. I'm not gonna lie. I think I did a really good job of this. We've got like there's so much detailing in this thing. And it looks it. You can see it, and it looks like the ship from the movies, and I love that. Like, oh my, like I do really good. I would remember, like I remember sitting in my in my math class. All right, I was sitting in my math class in my first semester of college. And this was I worked on this during my first semester of college. This was one of the things I was working on in my first semester. Okay, that and Bumblebee stuff. So yeah, uh, I remember doing this and sitting there, and I'm like, I'm not giving a damn anymore about this class. All right, I could have, but it's like just sitting in the lectures. I was just sitting there working on this ship, and on my way to and from classes, I was to and from campus in the on the shuttle. I was working on this. It's just I'm glad I sat down and actually worked on this because this thing I actually did a bit of from Alien. It works, and I actually love it. I will say I do feel like the engines could be a bit closer. Like maybe like get rid of this one section right here. But of course we have like a sloping bit right here, and it's like I can't really get rid of a bunch of detailing, some detailing. So it's like I did my best with this ship, and I think it shows. And this thing is wicked filled with detailing. So yeah, I honestly might go back honestly one day and just add some like gray throughout it. Some dark gray throughout the ship. More dark gray. Like of course we got some here, here, and here. But other than that, and we've got some stuff back here. But it's like there's nothing else really to break up all this light gray. This is a light gray heavy ship, and we might just add some light gray, some dark gray on the ship to make it a little bit better. So yeah. Of course you can see this is the cockpit. So yeah. I might actually go one day, build a even smaller version of this, but add the entire oil refinery to the back of that model. I'm not doing it for this size. No, 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 no. This is not, that's going to be a huge ass oil refinery. You don't want to sit through that tutorial. I don't want to sit down and do the tutorial. That's going to be something like Rapture. That's going to be like at least an hour. Um, and I'd have to break it up into parts, alright? I have a thing where I'm like, okay, over an hour? No. I don't want to have you sit down for over an hour, okay? I get, yeah, watch time and viewer retention, yeah, watch time, but it's like, look, yeah, I want you to be there and be present, not be there and be lost. So that's why if this subscriber special goes over an hour, I'm breaking up, which is most likely is already over an hour, so it's probably broken up a bit. So yeah, there might have been introductions to each section. So yeah, now onto the Narcissus. This was a pain in the butt ship to build, honestly. This was more of a trouble to build than the Nostromo, but I did my best. I remember starting from the back and working my way towards the front with this model, as opposed to how I normally work. Is I work from the front and I work my way toward the back. And honestly, I think it could have been better. I feel like this ship could be a bit better because it's not the it could be better. I did my best on it to be honest, but I mean, hey, it works. It works how it should. Um, but yeah, it works how it should. I'm not gonna fault myself for how I built it. It could be better, but again, I did my best, and this is my best with it. And it works at least. So yeah, it looks good though, nonetheless. So yeah, that's the end of the alien section, folks. We're now going to head on over to Bumblebee. Alrighty, folks. So now we are on to Transformers Bumblebee. This was like the first wave we did in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Which I believe I'm correct on that. Yeah, yeah. This was the first wave we did. So yeah, I think we did a. I this is so yeah. Let's get on to so let's talk about Bumblebee here. Bumblebee, honestly, I really like his robot mode. His robot mode is pretty good. His backpack could be a bit better in how I executed it, but it's the best I could at the time I did it. Uh, so I'm not faulting myself for that. But his alt mode could be better, honestly. The only thing I dislike is where how his legs are done. His legs I could have probably figured out a way if I actually was thinking at the moment, which, well, not thinking, but is probably not the best word. But if I was, you know, if I was in the right mind to think, it'd be like, oh, let's use the feet to actually make a bit of a make the top of the car. Make the roof of the car. Which honestly, that would have been cool to do. That would have been cool to see. I didn't do that. I may change that up at some point soon. I don't know. But hey, at least this is what we have. It's not that bad, honestly. I like the robot mode. It's pretty good. We've got his gun and his sword, which, it's cool. This honestly reminds me more of his Humvee mode than his gun mode, than his buggy mode, which was the mode I was going for. But which is why I'm thinking, yeah, just flip the legs over, like that, and then we would have had a better alt mode. But hey, we did what we could, honestly. And the wheels are kind of obscured, but hey, whatever. I'm not faulting myself on this, honestly. Okay. So yeah, let's head on over to the next one in this wave, which was Blitzwing. Which honestly, I really like how Blitzwing came out, both robot mode and alt mode. I don't think I had to put anything. No, there was barely anything to be put on his backpack. The only thing that needed to be put on his back was, the whole nose of him, the nose of the plane. He's got a clean back. He's got, a nice looking plane mode, which I love how it comes together. Like, oh my god, this looks so beautiful. Uh, I feel like I'm a bit spoiled when it comes to plane designs with this one because his is so freaking perfect. But I digress. It works. His plane mode works if if you don't get that. You don't get where I'm going with that. It works. It works beautifully. Uh, and I am so glad how he came together because he could have come out poorly. And the one thing, and I actually had to go custom with his legs. His legs had to go custom because I couldn't really find any good images of his legs. So I did a bit of a default leg design for him too, which I'm not changing his leg designs. That's a no for me, dog. You're not getting a change in his leg design for me. You're welcome to change that up yourself, but I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it, unless I changed it after the film, but I did a custom leg design for him. And yeah, I think I did a bang-up job with it. He works, honestly. And I love how people, when the trailers were coming out, was like, oh my god, is that Starscream? It's like, no, that's not Starscream, that's Blitzwing. Who, of course, this guy doesn't turn into a tank, but hey, whatever. They needed a transformer, they got a transformer that they needed. I'm not gonna blame them, alright? I'm not gonna blame them. So, let's get on to one of the other Decepticons in the film, Shatter. Now, I was commented on a tutorial I did that I should have said, here she is. So, you're welcome, viewer. You're welcome. Here she is. God. Feel like I'm, dealing with I'm helping the patriarchy or something, but whatever. Which I don't endorse. I don't endorse the patriarchy in any way. I don't believe in the patriarchy. I should know it either. So that should help you take a guess on that. But I'm not even going to get into that. So here's Shatter. I think her plane mode. My bad. Her play mode is a lot better than her alt mode. I honestly, The legs are they kind of fell into that same trap Bumblebee's arms fell into, which I can get. I get that. Of course, though, at this time, I didn't come up with the idea of that I'm doing right now with my other Transformers and using bricks and other that stuff. But again, of course, to make this. But of course, again, she's already got a crazy backpack. She's got this little assembly going on back here that's a bit weird. So it's like, okay, we did our best, of course. Her car mode at least, has like a bit of like the engine, the exposed engine. We've got like a bit of a cockpit here, like the car bit. I mean, we did our best with this. I did my best with this. I mean, I could see myself. I would probably go back and edit her alt mode a bit, at least her car mode. But other than that, nothing else would need to be changed on her, really. So yeah, and well, last but not least in this wave, dropkick. Ooh, I think I did a really good job with executing. So yeah, I kind of like how we have this assembly here, but it's much better than having the assembly we did before on the previous two car models. But again, I did my best I could with these. Um, his he looks a lot better there, and his helicopter mode looks a lot cooler. And I honestly like his backpack. His backpack is a pretty clean, simplistic backpack, and I love that. And a part of it's upside down. Like, part of the bricks are upside down. I don't even remember how that attaches, so... which is dope, but still. His helicopter is a really good helicopter alt mode. Like, I really did a bang-up job getting him into a helicopter. Alright? He looks like a helicopter. And if you guys have any complaints about my helicopter, this helicopter, I am sorry. I don't know what you think is wrong with this helicopter, but I think I did a bang-up job with this. I know, yeah, this is all my logo. Him and Shatter's play mode are on my logo, because they deserve to be on my logo. That work deserves to be on my logo. And yeah, of course we have his gun right here. His all mode's good. His robot mode's good. I like it. I think I did a bang up job with him with it as well. So yeah, I think that's it with the Bumblebee. That's it with the Bumblebee line. So yeah, next will be Star Wars Resistance. Alrighty, so let's get into Star Wars Resistance. So I haven't seen the show in like forever. I only got through halfway of the first season, but I was enjoying the first half of the season. I remember enjoying it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I meant to get back into it. I need to get back into it though. But yeah, so we're starting off with the Fireball, which is the head ship. This is the like the season like the show the ship that we all recognize from the show. I think I did a bang up job executing this ship. Making this thing in Lego. It looks like it. It feels like it. It flies. It looks like it. I honestly love how this thing came together. And I love how I have this like 1x1 brick wide, build assembly, and it works beautifully. And I love just how we have the guns where they are. God, those are beautiful. And how the wing assembly is built as well. God, this is such a nicely done ship. And where the engines are as well. That is nicely done as well. That is so nice. I am not lying. I love that look. And yeah. This is probably one of my favorites from this line, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Now let's head on over to the Black Case, which honestly, I think I did a good job with. I could have done it could have been betterly dealt with, but again, I was dealing with some, some images that weren't giving me too much, some good views of it. So there is that. Plus, trying to figure out how to get the pattern in there, which honestly I felt like was an important deal. And I don't even know if I was getting the pattern on the bottom, but I know I was definitely doing the top pattern, and that was just, oh God, that was a pain. And dealing with all that and having to keep the gap in between, and God, that was just a pain. This was the this was probably one of the harder ones to build. This could have, I would probably go back and redo this. If I don't know how I would go back and fix this one, but I would definitely go back and fix this one if I could. And whenever I can, honestly, I would definitely go back and fix this one. That's for sure. I will say that. I would definitely use some elements that I did from this one, but there would be some things I would change for sure on this model. So yeah, let's on to the next one, Blue Ace. And yes, we're heading in alphabetical order with this, like we did. Yeah, we did it in alphabetical order because that's the best way to do it. Blue Ace, I like how this one came out. It looks so. Something about. I remember. I feel like I remember seeing that this one looked like a poor, like the Ford GT, like that, like one of the older Ford GTs. And you know, like I can agree with that. That set statement. Like this does and gives that feel of like a Ford GT. And it's like, God, this thing looks so good, and like it's got that color scheme too. It's got that classic Ford GT color scheme, and this is so good. This was a bit tricky to figure out how to start it off, but once I got it started and continued down the line, and even getting the right color, like I had to figure out what's the best color to start off, and I went with medium azure, which honestly it took a bit to figure out the best color, but I figured it out and I went with it, and it worked. And this ship came out nicely, and it rocks. I would not change anything on this ship, honestly. This and the Fireball are both on my logo, as you can see right now. I am going to be at some point soon changing that logo. Probably during the summer, I'll be changing the logo because I want to change the logo. But it's always good to keep the logo changing, kind of have a bit of a history to the logo. Don't want to just have a stagnant logo. Uh, because it's always good to show old models and newer models on the image. But yeah. It just came out really nicely. And yeah, now let's head on over to Green Ace. Honestly, I feel like this one could have been done a lot better. This one just feels bland. Like the only yellow because this thing had some yellow on it, but the only yellow we have is on the wing. But yet there's more. There was like some yellow on here, and I didn't really add that on the side of the ship. But I mean, this one was. I mean, this one wasn't that hard to build, but I did my best. And I will know. I know at least this ship, maybe this ship, but definitely this ship were built in my oceanography class. Some of these models were built in my oceanography class, maybe even worked on. Like I think I might have worked on this spin oceanography class. I definitely got this built in one day. This was probably worked on. This was worked on campus, if not in oceanography class as well. So yeah, all this was worked on in oceanography class, and was at least worked at some point in my oceanography class. I mean, it got boring. All right, don't get me wrong. I should have been listening a little, but whatever she wrote on the board, I wrote down. And that's how I did it. That's how I worked. And I passed the class, so don't knock me for doing that. It worked. It worked. It worked. So, yeah, as you can see, we got the cockpit, which I honestly liked how I knocked out the cockpit. I liked how I did the brick built style of cockpit instead of just using a piece for the cockpit. But it worked either way. Got little fins here, the grill bit. Again, like I'd probably go back and edit this. There's probably more images of this ship anyway, so I'm not gonna go back and I'm probably not gonna fret over. I'm probably gonna go back. I'd probably keep the same build design, but go back and heavily edit it. I'd probably go back and add some more color to it. That's probably what I would do for this ship at least. And now on to Red Ace. Which honestly, I like how this one came out. This one was a bit tricky as well. I mean, the fin was I feel like the fin, if I'm not mistaken, was a bit difficult. But I know that the front wasn't that hard. Getting up after a certain point, that was a bit difficult. But after some time, I mean, I was able to figure this all out. I got the wings built, the guns, and the of this done. Got some engine. The engines are nice. I really like the engines and how those are built. And this fin here. This is a nicely built fin here. I like how this back section here is too. This is a nice back section. Along with this cockpit. It looks beautiful. It looks, I mean, it's a nice one. It's not one of my favorites, of course, but it's a nice one. I really like how it came out. It feels a little too blocky. I feel like it could have been a bit more rounded out. But I mean, again, that's what you get. That's when you're dealing with Lego. It's kind of hard to do things. And I might have wanted to work on the wings a little bit because it just looks a little weird. But again, it's with Lego. You know, you're dealing with Lego. It's hard to best deal with things. So you know, it's the best you can do. And lastly, in this wave, is the Yellow Ace, which honestly, I love how this thing looks. Well, it's not one of my favorites, of course, but I really like how this came out. I loved how I was able to get the wings here movable. I was able to figure out a way to do that. I was able to build a little wave for, at least for these ones, it wasn't that hard. I didn't have to do much to make those movable and adjustable. These here, I was able to figure out the ones up here, I was able to figure out a way to do that. Because I noticed, oh, those have a bit of an adjustment to them. Let me figure out a way to do that. And of course, I was able to figure out a way to build the engines, which honestly, I really like how I figured out a way to attach the engines, make the engine section, and how to attach the wings onto that. I like how we have the cockpit here, which again, I'm following the same cockpit style I did for Green Ace. Red Ace has similar build style. Build cockpit to Blue Ace, but you know, hey. I like how this has the same one to Green Ace. The gray, here is so nice on the back. So nice. It's just such a nicely built one in the front here. Oh man, that was nice. This is kind of how it was for a while, honestly. The front bit. I was trying to figure out how to get that further, how to go from there further on, but then I figured it out and was like, oh my god, yeah, this is coming together nicely. And I love it. I love how this ship came together. I love how all of them came together, but I have some, well, not all of them. There's some that are not my favorites, but you know, this one unfortunately isn't one of them. But I mean, you know, I'm sure there's somebody who has this as their favorite. I'm sure they built it, you know. But yeah, that's the end of not Rogue One, but of the Stars Resistance line. Next up will be Titanfall 2, one of my favorite designs. I've got some favorite designs of that one. I really love what I did and how I executed that one. So yeah, we're gonna head on over to that one now. Alrighty, hope you guys enjoyed this part. I enjoyed making it for you guys. This is part two. Remember, this is part two. Part one was before this. If you have not checked out part one, highly recommend checking that out. It'd be great if you could check that out because you know, I worked hard on putting all this together. You know, it'd be great if you could check out all the parts. You know, at least a part of it. You know, again, your favorite model might be or wave might be in that part one. Really recommend checking that out. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be at the end card here, end card, end screen. So don't worry if you so you can check out there. Um, so yeah. Also, hope you guys enjoyed this. We had a lot going on here. So you might be wondering why isn't I think it's Bioshock. Why Bioshock is not happening right now? Is it when Bioshock happening? Don't worry, that's the start of the next part. Did I say Bioshock there? No, I meant Titanfall 2. I believe Titanfall 2 is the next part, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, go check out part 2 if you haven't seen it. So yeah, now uh I'll continue on with this. This is just a quick cut in here. I messed up in what I was saying there. I made a big little goof, but don't worry. Let's continue on with there. Just me, you know, just me being me, you know. But yeah, let's continue on with the outro. So stay tuned for part three. Part three will be happening right after. Will be happening soon. It'll be coming out probably later today. Late today, if you're watching it the day this came out. If you're watching it in the future, it's already out, boys. It's in the end card screen as well. You can check out the playlist actually that this is in. You know, there's a playlist. I'm putting my subscriber special playlist. Check that out as well. There's not much right now, but you know, in the future there'll be more to come. So yeah, check that out. And yeah, Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications if you want to know when part 3 comes out. I'd recommend it if I were you. But yeah. Also, hit that like button if you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear what your favorite model or wave was in this part, even if it was in this part, or what your thoughts are of any of the models you saw in here. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what in your comments regarding any of what you saw, anything you saw in here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this. I can't believe we're at 100 subscribers. On to part 3. Remember me, the force is father with you always. I'll see you all in the next video.
Birds of a feather, well weathered together, chasing the dark from the night. Trust in your feelings and find a new hope. Take your best shot and let go.